Well, welcome to the show. Tonight, an interesting show. We've got one of our local physicians who's sort of making a name for himself on local media, Dr. Timothy Quinn. He's going to be talking about health in general and some specific tips for our viewers to stay healthy. And also in our second segment, Mr. Jay Lake from Carter Jewelers talks about jewelry investments. After this. Well, Dr. Timothy Quinn with us. Doctor, thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You know, we talked about what your grandfather told you when you were growing up, and basically to bring the word about medicine to the people.
Yeah, inform the people and help them, you know, because the thing is, if you're blessed with, you know, retention as far as going to school and remembering information, and you get those degrees and that training, you want to spread it and help people have that information so that they can live a healthier life.
Well, knowledge is power.
It really is.
It can save a life if a person knows what to do or the symptoms or how to handle things.
Right.
Now, diet is, we've talked about that before. Diet and exercise are two important elements to health. Tell us a little bit about what modern medicine is thinking regarding a good diet.
Right. Well, the deal is we talk about diet and exercise. And honestly, you know, you can exercise all you want, but if your diet is not good, you're not going to be as successful. You know, diet is so important. In my opinion, diet is more important than exercise. I'm not saying don't exercise.
Can I make an observation? You know, going to the gym, there are some folks who work out, but they still overweight.
Oh, yeah.
And I see these people on the treadmill going and huffing and puffing, and literally they have not lost that 100 pounds yet.
Diet is important,
but they must be eating the wrong thing when they get home.
Yeah, a lot of cases they might be beelining straight to the Popeye's chicken or the churches or whatnot. But the bottom line is diet is important. Now, here's the deal. There's no diet that's universal to everyone because different people have different lifestyles and whatnot. So I try to stay away from the word diet. It's more of a lifestyle modification. It's not so much, you know, what you eat, but it's how you eat. Now, everybody has a metabolic rate. You know, I'm not going to tell my age right now, but I'm certainly not 20 years old. When I was 20, I could just about eat anything and never gain weight. But as you get older, you know, your metabolism slows down. Well, the deal is, what can you do to combat that? Well, what you can do is you can change how you eat. I have a lot of patients that'll tell me that they skip breakfast, they skip lunch, and they're still gaining weight, and they just don't understand, why don't I lose the weight? And I tell them that you're working against yourself. I eat every 3 hours, religiously. It doesn't matter what's going on, I'm going to stop and eat. And I'm not going to eat a big meal, but I'm going to put something in my stomach. Let's talk about that person that eats dinner at 7 o'clock at night. They wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's 12 hours, correct? Let's say they eat lunch at noon. That's another 5 hours. So you're looking at 17 hours with no nutrition. The first thing your body is going to do is going to slow the metabolism down, because you're sending a message to your brain that you're going to go long periods of time without eating, so your natural metabolic rate is automatically going to slow down. You're not going to burn calories as fast as someone who eats frequently throughout the day. I mean, you have an autonomic nervous system that makes it so that you can survive. If you turn the lights off, your pupils will dilate so you can see in the dark. You don't think about it. These are natural survival mechanisms that just occur. So if you go long periods of time without eating, your metabolism is just going to slow down. The second thing that's going to happen is, if you go long periods without eating, you're going to store more fat. That's that autonomic nervous system making it so you can survive through long periods of time. The third thing that's going to happen, when you go to that dinner, it's like on Sundays, I go to my mom's house. My brother, he gets a big plate of food, and I get a small plate of food. It's about 2 o'clock. He's like, man, how do you eat so healthy, man? You don't want all this extra food? And I say, well, David, when's the last time you ate? And he'll always say, last night. And I say, well, why didn't you eat anything today? I was saving up for this. Well, you're going to eat a lot because it's hard to make good decisions if you've gone 17 hours without anything to eat. And me, on the other hand, I'll get up on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and maybe have a couple of, boiled eggs and a little bit of grits, maybe eat half a sandwich at 11 o'clock. So when I get to my mom's house at 2 o'clock, I'm not starving. so I can eat the healthy food.
Well, this is such great advice. Now, I'm guilty of that right there. I used to be better about it, but over these last couple of years, I find myself busy and putting off eating, and throughout the day don't eat. And when I go home, I eat too much and I go to sleep.
And you're going to make you're not going to make the best decision because you're thinking with your hunger.
Right.
But if you eat every 3 hours, you never really get hungry. So you just eat healthy. Now, one thing you got to do is, like, if I go to a restaurant and they bring my food out, I'll tell them to put half of it on the plate and put the other half in a to-go plate. And the lady will always, if it's a new restaurant, the restaurants I go, they know I'm crazy, so they just do it. But the new restaurants, they'll say, "But sir, we'll just bring you a to-go plate at the end." I say, "Ma'am, if you bring me a to-go plate at the end, there's going to be nothing to go in that to-go plate because I'm going to tear it all up." So what you have to do is only put the food in front of you that you're going to eat, and that way you won't have a choice but to only eat that amount. And you notice, when I go to my mom's house, I get a saucer. I don't get a plate. Because that way it's easier to control your amount of food by eating smaller amounts and only allowing yourself to have smaller amounts.
Now, I think what you just mentioned, all of that, a lot of us have heard that. We kind of have come across that information, but it's different when you hear the doctor say it specifically, like you just did.
Well, the bottom line is if you implement these lifestyle changes with the small, frequent meals, and notice when I go to the restaurant, I only eat half of the food. Yeah. That's what I do 3 hours later.
You eat the
other half, or eat it for my first meal at 11 o'clock in the morning. You spread it out. And they actually did a research study where they gave 2 groups of people 1,500 calories. One group, they cut it in half, so they ate half at noon and the other half at night. The second group, they gave 300 calories 5 times a day, so both ate the same amount. But the group that ate the 5 times a day, the 300 calories, as opposed to the 750 twice, they lost more weight. And guess what? They cheated less too. It can be done, and it really works. But it's something that you have to incorporate. And if you're very busy, you just have to be, strict to it and just do it some kind of way.
What about things like protein bars? They're easy, and there's a lot of protein.
I keep them in my car. I keep them in my bags. So when I don't have time to eat a meal, I eat a protein bar.
And that's okay?
That's okay. You just want to get some kind of nutrition coming in. And another thing, you want to prepare the night before. So, I might make a sandwich, cut it in half, eat half, and some, maybe some carrots, but all day you want to eat little things. And I do the protein shakes, too. Those are some of my meals in between.
Okay, let's talk about protein shakes. That's an easy way to do it, and it's high protein, it's great nutrition. Give us a scenario through the day. If you're going to incorporate protein shakes and food, give us an ideal scenario.
Right, I understand. What I do is I try to do 300 calories per feeding. So when I get up in the morning, somewhere around 300 calories, but I'll eat maybe 2 boiled eggs, the little instant grits in the pack, and maybe 1 piece of veggie sausage, and mix it all up and eat it real quick. Then when I get to work, around 11 o'clock, I'll probably have a protein shake that's right at 300 calories. They have a really good one at Smoothie Clean called the Gladiator. It has about 45 grams of protein at about less than 300 calories.
Wow, that's great.
Then about maybe 2 o'clock, I might have like a sandwich, or, I eat the lean cuisines. I know they have a little high, sodium, but I drink nothing but water, no beverages, because beverages, those are ways to get calories that are unnecessary and unusable.
You mean beverages with calories?
Right, like Coca-Cola or iced tea from McAllister's Deli.
What about diet Coca-Cola or diet Pepsi?
Well, I've never really gotten into that. I just drink water. That way I don't have to ask any questions, but the diet is better than the regular Coke.
Right.
So
because of the sugar, right?
Right. And the thing is, you got to be realistic. If you're drinking Cokes every day, you want to try to go to the diet. That's a step. So you got to take baby steps. You can't just go cold turkey. But around 2 o'clock, I'll have the sandwich or the lean cuisine or something. And then about 7 o'clock at night, I just have a really small dinner, maybe a small piece of meat and some vegetables. Now, a trick that I've incorporated, and I've been doing it for the last couple of years, I eat fruit every night before I go to bed.
Okay, so the last meal you eat is what time?
Well, 7 o'clock is dinner, around 7-ish. And then at night, though, I'll eat that fruit.
Okay, what do you eat at what time?
Maybe about 10:30 or 11 o'clock before I go to bed. I'll eat a lot of grapes or maybe an orange or something, because with this diet, you're going to get a little hungry at night because you don't have a lot of storage. So if you eat the fruit before you go to bed, it helps it, so you stay full. You won't wake up in the night, looking for food.
Right. Because eating late at night is not a good thing, is it?
No, but if you eat the fruit
right.
is a good way.
Eating the wrong thing late at night.
Eating the wrong thing,
which is easy to do, once again, like ice cream.
Another thing you got to do is get all that stuff out I don't have anything in my house. Now, my daughter, she comes pretty much every weekend. She's a 13-year-old little girl, so I'm not going to tell her not to eat ice cream or little stuff, because she's a little girl, But what I do is when she comes, we might stop by the grocery store, and if she wants to get a couple of things that are not the most healthy, I might let her get a little bit. But when she leaves, if some of it's left, I put it in that bag and I send it home with her. Because I don't even want it in the house, because I don't want to have that temptation.
Right. It's easy to be tempted with the wrong things, which are usually the things that taste great.
I tell my patients to go home with a big old garbage bag and just throw all that stuff away.
Keep it out of the house.
That way, if it's not there, when you get up at night, or you won't be tempted because it's not there.
I did the same thing when my girls were growing up. It was very easy to have cookies and all that kind of stuff. Well, we made a policy. I stopped buying all that stuff.
Right.
And you know what? You get used to it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have it after you don't have it.
You do.
Well,
the bottom line is, if you make those dietary changes, as far as what to eat, you just use your common sense.
Right.
I ask patients all the day, let's just do a little test. Hamburger, healthy, yes or no? You know the answer.
Right.
Subway sandwich, healthy, yes or no? And, if you get a Subway sandwich without all the dressings and things, it's healthy. So
well, it's a good alternative.
The thing is, you get to Piccadilly's, you're at the end of the line, and would you like some bread? That garlic bread, you could mash it, it's just grease, or want some dessert, but if you go to Piccadilly's, you can make a healthy selection. I go to Piccadilly's all the time.
Right.
It's just, you just have to make the right choices, and as I say, we know it's healthy. Every time we eat bad, we know it.
Right, we do. That was the good stuff that we
the good stuff. Forget about the good.
I'm just joking, but yes. Thank you, Doc, for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And we always look forward to your insight into staying healthy.
Staying healthy.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Timothy Quinn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after this.